Hey, this is Eb. I'm here today to talk about guitar repair, in particular headstock breaks. They're very common with Gibsons. Someone who's very knowledgeable and experienced who told me out of the thousands and thousands of Gibsons that he's worked on, literally, that about a quarter of them he figures have a broken headstock or have had a repair in the past. So it's a very common problem. He said we need to just get used to it and not fuss about the fact that they've all had them because so many of them have. It's just part of the game. There's a lot of different ways to repair it. People have done it different ways over the years. There's some new really cool ways. There's some very expensive ways, some very quick ways, and then I even think some very destructive ways that are damaging to the instrument because one of the most important things to consider when repairing a guitar is it repairable again after that? And some of these are, you almost have to start from scratch if it's done a second time. But I ended up going with, on this one, this is a Les Paul, it's like a 2012, something like that. And yep, and it had just a snap. I'll post pictures. I mean, it was just like you just snapped it right through there. There was no overlaying grain. Sometimes they split out and you have a lot of gluing surface and you can get away with gluing it back together. Just gluing it back and doing touch up. And it should always be noted that a good wood glue is stronger than the wood that it's gluing. And so a lot of times that's sufficient and the best thing to do. There's no need to ever put any kind of pins in through here like some people like to do at home. This doesn't help anything. It just makes a weaker area all around it. But I decided to go with, I'd seen Ian Davlin do this, and I think Frank Ford in the past had done some similar things also. I think I found some stuff on his website. But doing a backstrap. I just didn't trust that gluing this pieces of wood, it'd be like taking two 2x4s and gluing them together like this. It's not going to hold any strength when you glue the butt ends together. So I wanted to get it back together and then remove a lot of material and then overlay it with a similar piece of mahogany that'll blend in. It won't look perfect the way I'm doing it. Yet there's ways to do it where it could. This guitar just didn't merit that kind of a time for touch-up finish and all that kind of stuff. But that's what I ended up going with on this because it just needed strength from here to here. Some people go all the way to the end. But this one, I talked with the owner and it just didn't seem worth it to cover up all the official Gibson markings on the back, especially with so much fake Gibson stuff now rolling around. Somebody, he may sell this someday, and it needs to have those numbers on there and look like they're from the factory. So we just did a partial back strap, not all the way to the end. That way we didn't have to mess with any of that. But to talk about it a little bit, basically, since it's really, really weak right here, one of the reasons it's weak is Gibson has a truss rod right through there, a big old hole, all channel all the way down there, and then they bore it out real big on this side, and then you've got grain that's running this way. So there's no this wood up here is connected to wood that's not here anymore. So they can split and snap normally, but this one just straight up snapped. Either way, you need something that spans all those potential breaking points doing this and spans the weak area. So I added some splines to it where they're almost like a biscuit joint where you put some things down in there. Since the truss rod's so high, I needed something a little bit deeper to keep it from snapping side to side. I put those in there. You file all this down and then you take a piece of other wood, in this case mahogany, that's a good solid piece, matches the grain, and you put it in there, and then there's this big old 2x4 looking block, and then you carve it down till it looks like a headstock again, and then touch it up. So that's pretty much this one. Hopefully this will last a lot longer than the original neck did, the way it was done. But required some good touch-up paint. I'm pretty happy with this. I think if you get up close, you're going to know it was repaired, but I don't see a reason to make it look like it was never repaired. There's a certain part of that to me almost seems dishonest if people are doing that and then pretending that it was never broken and try to sell it as like new when it indeed is not. So I'm fine with little signs and hints here and there. It's mostly just the gluing edge and the different grain lines where they meet up. So that's this one. That can be done on any guitar with a broken headstock. I had one that I don't know if I got video of it recently, but I definitely have pictures I'll be putting up of one that was just shattered and missing a lot of pieces. And in that case, you graft in the pieces that aren't there and carve it back into something that looks like a headstock again. So I hope you found this helpful and a little bit insightful of the many ways you can repair a guitar. Thank you.